Diablo Immortal has finally released. If you're not aware of what this game is, this is Blizzard's attempt at entering the mobile market in full swing. Now, they've done this previously with games like Hearthstone, but those are games that are more suited for a mobile environment. This is one of their first forays into taking one of their main lineups and pushing it to mobile players. Does the game live up to the name of Diablo, or is it going to fall short? I'm going to try to give you an unbiased opinion here because pretty much all that I've seen from every single content creator that I've watched so far or seen people talk about it has seemingly just written the game off completely, just said, oh yeah, pay to win, don't even play it, not worried about it. I don't even think most of these people have even played the game. So I spent a few hours, I played some of the game, and I'm going to give you my thoughts. And I'll be honest, I've been surprised in more ways than one. Boys, I've been a fan of Diablo for a long time. I've played Diablo since the original Diablo 1. I was a child at the time, but I played Diablo 1. I played Diablo 2 extensively, and I was super excited for the release of Diablo 3. Played it all day, every single day for quite some time. So whenever a Diablo title comes out, I gotta give it a little bit of a shot. I gotta see what's going on and give it a little bit of my time. Now, Diablo Immortal is a mobile game through and through. I think the first thing that you should realize going into playing this game is that if you're planning on playing this game on a computer, you're most likely going to be heavily disappointed. This game is meant for mobile and is only meant for mobile. The PC port just kind of seems like a secondary thing that they decided, oh, well, we can probably make some money off of PC players, might as well make one, right? It's not worth playing on anything but a phone. So that is the first big thing to overcome. If you are expecting this to be like Path of Exile, or you're expecting it to be like a worthy successor to Diablo 3, it's not that, not even close. If those are your expectations, give up because this game is not going to reach them. However, if you go into this with the expectations that this is just going to be an ARPG game in a mobile format, you'll probably be okay, except for one glaring issue. This is a NetEase game, and for those of you who know who NetEase is, you'll probably know that the gameplay is probably going to be good, but as I said previously, this is a NetEase game, so this is going to be a game that will absolutely suck the soul out of your wallet. These people are absolute masters when it comes to draining every single penny that they can from your bank account. So be warned, and I'm going to say this up front before we get into any information about the game. If you are one of those people who can't help but spend a couple dollars on a game, just don't play this game. It's absolutely not something that you're going to want, need, deserve, or anything even remotely close to that. It is not worth your time. I wouldn't even watch the rest of this video. I just forget that Diablo Immortal exists. However, if you're someone who can make it through a game, a mobile game that is designed to steal your money, and can make it through it without actually spending any money, there might be some fun to have here. So for recording purposes, I went ahead and played through the tutorial on computer, but most of my time that I have spent playing this game so far, which has been a few hours at very least, has been spent on the mobile client. So I want to talk about the mobile client, but to be able to record the game and show you what all is going on, I kind of need to play it on computer, so I'm just going to give you an idea here. Now, this is a very bare bones Diablo experience. You've got some cool abilities that you've got over here. They all feel quite good, like the abilities don't feel bad by any means. On mobile, they actually feel quite satisfying. It's relatively easy to play on mobile, and the game is obviously designed to be played on mobile. Now, the reason that I say that is because when I have been sitting here attempting to play it on computer, I've noticed there's a lot of problems that I never actually ran into. I didn't even know you could resurrect people. I guess I can resurrect this guy. But anyways, there's a lot of problems that I never ran into on mobile that I have ran into quite often on PC. The first of those problems being the main ability being bound to left click. Now, I don't know, and as you can see, we'll talk about the shop here in a moment. I don't know if you can rebind some of these things, or I guess that we can, but move can be bound to right click only. I guess I could bound this to left click, and primary attack can be right click. So that's probably one of the first things that I would do, but unfortunately, as you can see, we also seem to have the problem of right click, our main ability, also being a move skill. As I said, it is not set up to be a PC game. Now, the game is very basic. There is not a lot of depth here. You've got a couple abilities, you've got items that you can use, you've got, loot that you pick up. Like, the loot's not really super interesting. If a piece of gear is an upgrade, it's gonna have a little up arrow symbol on it, and then you click it and you just click equip. As you can see, it's just like, oh, this piece of gear is an upgrade, click equip. There's nothing really else to the gearing system whatsoever. But you go in, the abilities feel pretty good on mobile, and they don't feel terrible for a PC game, but this isn't going to be something that's going to impress you by any means. Now, when it comes to gameplay, this game isn't anything amazing, it's nothing crazy, but for a mobile experience, it honestly doesn't feel too bad. It's inoffensive and kind of basic, but everything works pretty well. The main problem is that if you go into this thinking, hey, I'm looking for a PC experience, I'm coming as a Path of Exile player or a Diablo 3 player or any other major title, you're just going to be disappointed here. So that's the basics of the gameplay. You just kind of run around, you've got a few abilities. If we look at our list of skills, it seems like you do get quite a few abilities as you level up, and you can move around and choose the different ones that you want to do. But you're probably going to be limited to just these 4 abilities and whatever your main attack is. There's like an ultimate ability that you can use as well, which just kind of like charges up over time and allows you to use it occasionally, and it makes you feel really strong. But let's talk about the main problem with this game, and the reason that I think most people should not play this game, and that's going to be the shop. Now, you might notice that the only thing in this menu here that is highlighted are going to be things that are going to push you towards monetization. If we jump into the shop here, which is the only thing that's highlighted here, you'll see the initial very first thing you get is a beginner's pack. Plus 800% extra value. That means it's good, right? You better spend that 99 cents and get these items, because if you don't, you're gonna miss out on 800% value. That's crazy, right? And then you'll see that we've got like these crests that you can grab, which make it I guess Elder Rifts are gonna be the end-game type stuff, and you can buy these to make your Elder Rifts more powerful. You've got the classic bundles, and you might notice that this says claim now. I've got a free daily reward. This is one of the ways that these games sink their claws into you and try to get the monetization seeming okay. So it's like, okay, we'll claim this. Oh, dude, I get a glowing shard and some enchanted dust, and oh yeah, that's cool. Look, a free daily reward. Look at all these cool items I got. But then it's like, well, if you want more, you gotta spend the money. Cosmetics, you wanna look really cool? I don't really care too much about cosmetics. This is the same thing that's in PoE, it is what it is. But the major problem here is going to be the fact that all of these nice, cool, glowy orbs that you can purchase, and that if you want to be competitive towards the end of the game, you have to purchase. On top of that, you'll notice that there are materials that you can buy. These are materials that allow you to upgrade your gear, make your gear more powerful, make your character more powerful, and if you're wanting to do very, very high-end content, are absolutely necessary to be effective in this game. And therein lies the problem with this game as a whole. If you enter this game thinking, well, I'm just gonna have fun for a couple of hours, I'll probably do the campaign and probably won't do any of the end game, maybe I'll mess around with it for 5 minutes, and you don't plan on doing any PvP whatsoever, it's a fun mobile experience. The abilities are kind of cool, you can play whatever classes you want, and it's not too bad, not too offensive, as long as you are resistant to spending money. But if you are expecting to go any deeper than just the basic campaign and just the very, very minimal effort, I just kind of want to see the story, and you're like not resistant to spending a whole bunch of money on a game, this is absolutely not a game that you should even consider playing. Because according to some people who have done the math already on all of the different things that you can spend money on, if you want to have a fully powered character in the high-end end-game play, it is apparently going to cost you roughly 6 figures, over $100,000 US, to have a fully equipped, fully powered, fully geared character. That is an absolutely astronomical amount of money. An unthinkable amount of money for a video game, like an offensive amount of money. Now, I'm someone who's played a decent amount of like gacha style games and all kinds of other stuff on mobile for quite some time, right? There's some decent ones out there. But this one, when it comes to the monetization scheme, most of the time in gacha games, the way that it goes is that if you are a free-to-play player, or you're someone who spends like maybe $5 a month on it, right? Like $5 to $10 a month. That seems like an okay amount to spend on a gacha game. If you're one of those kinds of players, in most gacha games, you'll be behind the people at the top, but say if it takes the pay players 3 months to get something, you'll probably take 6 months to get it, right? In Diablo Immortal, that's not the case. In Diablo Immortal, you cannot get to where the pay players are. There's absolutely no possible way that you can. If you don't spend money, it's simply not a viable strategy for you. And that is the main complaint that I have with this game. The gameplay is okay. It feels all right for a mobile game. It's polished. I mean, the graphics look really solid on a phone. I have a S21 Ultra by Samsung, so keep in mind the gameplay is pretty well for me, but if you have a lower grade phone, I'm not 100% certain that it'll, work pretty well for you. But these monetization features are absolutely criminal, to be honest with you. They're miserably bad, and if you are expecting to be able to do anything more than just play the basic campaign and try to have like an enjoyable experience through that, look elsewhere, because this is not going to be the game that's going to work for you. And that is going to be it for the video. So I was kind of expecting this, to be honest with you. I know there's a lot of content creators out there who are absolutely just trashing this game, and it deserves a pretty decent amount of the hate, but it doesn't deserve all of the hate. If you're someone who can not really succumb to the problems with mobile monetization and the evil that is NetEase, them trying to sink their claws into your wallet, you could probably have a little bit of fun with this game. And it's kind of inoffensive in that regard. The gameplay is okay. It works really well on mobile. It doesn't feel as good on PC, not even close. I think the biggest mistake that they ever made at this point was making a PC port of it at this point. It should have just stayed a mobile-only game. But unfortunately, for me, I can't readily recommend this game to the masses just because it's kind of put a pretty big blemish on Diablo as a franchise. It's a franchise that I've grew up with. It's a franchise that led to me finding my favorite game of all time now, which is Path of Exile. And Diablo Immortal is obviously just a big giant cash grab that has kind of writing. It's kind of corny, and it doesn't really feel like amazing to play. For a mobile game, it's very good, but as just a game in general, it's not really there. So at the end of the day, my recommendation is probably don't play it. So that's going to be it, boys. Remember that if you enjoy this content, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest content, and stay safe out there in Sanctuary, and I'll see you guys in the next video.